Alright, hello 7th grade and welcome to our video lesson for today. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet you all in person and I apologize for that, but let us get started. This is going to be a very interesting lesson today. So for this video lesson, just going over our expectations, you should be taking notes throughout the lesson in order to fully understand the content. You can pause the video if you need some time to write something down, and as always, follow all directions for your assignments at the end of the lesson, which I will be going over as well. So today we will be talking about how different technological tools help us obtain natural resources. Specifically, we'll be going over what each tool I've selected does and the benefits and costs of each. And then by next class period, we'll have a worksheet due. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to compare and contrast our world's natural resources before and after technology, and you should be able to make a claim based on whether this shift in technology was good or bad for our planet. So let us begin. So, to review from our last lesson, a natural resource is a resource that naturally comes from the environment. What we did not talk about yet was what are some ways that we can obtain some of these natural resources, and that is where we will begin. So the first of these three is a mining drill. So these help mine for rocks and minerals that are deep within the ground. Some examples are coal, diamond, and marble. All our natural resources, all can be found below the surface that we need to mine for. After those are collected, samples are collected for experimentation, crafting, or to burn for fuel. That would specifically be for coal. And it requires many men to take out from underground, as well as machinery such as trams and lifts, because they're so far down. So this is just a picture of a mining drill. Looks pretty big, pretty impressive, kind of looks like a bulldozer. This is the drill part that goes down underneath the ground, and there would be a man or woman or whatever operating this machine. Right here I have a video link. I will be sending this presentation through email so you can look at it through your own time. And you can click these links, they'll take you to a video. You can watch them before I go on to the next thing. You can watch them after the video or after the video presentation. Whatever is up to you. If you are going to watch it now, I would suggest that you pause, click on the link, and then come back when you are done. Okay, so the next machinery is called a delimber. These basically help cut down tree limbs from trees. They can also, they do this in order to collect branches, leaves, and the tree sap that are used for paper products and wood products. Basically, this machine uses a saw that's connected to a long bulldozer-like arm, and it just cuts off the branches just like that. Very quick, very efficient. It can also be used to remove bark off of trees for more paper and wood products that way. This is what the delimber looks like, kind of similar to the mining drill, but a little smaller, a little more man-driven. This is that long saw I was talking about. This is the tree that looks like it has taken some bark off, some of the branches. And there's another video here for that as well, so if you want to watch that now, go ahead, pause the video and do that. Otherwise, like I said, you can do that after the video lesson. And then our last tool is the distillation tower. This is a huge tower found in reserved places. There we go. That helps refine crude oil that was drilled out of the ground. So there are different chemicals that are removed from the oil depending on the temperature of the distillation tower, which allows the oil to be used or sold once it is refined. Typically, you'll see more than one distillation tower at a time, but they're in groups and they're all spread out. Like this picture here, we have a whole bunch of distillation towers. I see at least 3, probably 4. It's a very big building. It's more a building than it is a tool, but nevertheless, it is what we use to refine our crude oil so that we can sell it. And there's another link there as well. Go ahead, pause the video, and watch it if you wish. It just goes a little bit in depth of how the distillation tower works. So those are our 3 tools that I've selected. Obviously, there are way more than that. If you want to do your own research on this, go ahead and do so. You have my permission. But we are going to move on to the next thing. So there are many ways that we can use technology to obtain natural resources, but how much can they really help us? So I'm going to go through each tool and explain some benefits and costs of each one. So for the mining drills, obviously they can obtain a lot of resources we need. I went over them a few slides ago. There's coal, diamonds, marble, so many things that we can use. And in the right conditions, it can be very quick at what it does if you saw in the video. If not, then you can go ahead and watch it after the presentation, like I said. Some costs for the mining drills, however, is that it requires a lot of people and other machinery to use. Without those machineries, the mining drill is pretty much useless. It also may wind up hurting wildlife in the process of drilling. Some plants may be growing up from the ground and the roots might be taken out, or you might even have some underground dwelling animals that could be hurt or possibly killed in the process of using the mining drill. So, benefits and costs of that. Then we have delimbers. So, delimbers can obtain resources that are needed every day. They are very efficient and they work quickly, so kind of similar to how the mining drill functions. However, it can be extremely dangerous to use, and that can go for all machines, but imagine that long saw being misused and hurting someone else or even yourself. That wouldn't be very good. Also, its use is highly debated because deforestation is a prevalent issue around our world. Some people believe that we don't need to cut down so many trees. Some people believe that it's necessary. So, finding the balance in that is definitely a cost for the delimber. And then finally, we have distillation towers. A big benefit of these is that they're mostly kept out of the way of people and most other wildlife. So, if something bad were to happen, then not as many people would be affected. They break down chemicals in crude oil very efficiently, and some of these chemicals can be very deadly, so getting rid of them is kind of important. Some costs for the distillation tower, however, is that the machinery involved typically emits greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, some stuff like that. And if there is a crude oil spill, results to the surrounding ecosystem could prove to be very deadly if you've seen past current events. Oil spills can kill hundreds of thousands of animals every year, so it can be very detrimental to the wildlife and the ecosystems around it. Okay, so clearly, deciding how much we should rely on these machines can be quite difficult. So let's figure out what we as individuals want to do in regard to our national resources and our planet. So, by doing that, we will be completing the worksheet. So, the first step of this worksheet is we'll be reading the 3 articles listed below this step. Any order will do, but the letters in the presentation correspond with the letters on the worksheet, which I will be opening up now. There we go. So, Article A is this one right here, the reshaping supply and demand for natural resources. And as such, questions for Article A will be in this first section here. So just kind of highlighting how that goes. So now I'll be going over the worksheet in full. So the purpose of this worksheet is that in our world, we must come face to face with a lot of decisions. Some decisions are simple, such as picking what outfit you want to wear, or what you want to eat for lunch. Some of the decisions are much harder than that, such as determining whether or not technology is really helping our planet. So when it comes to these harder decisions, it is important that we are prepared to answer those questions for ourselves. So here are the directions for this assignment. Now that you have read the 3 articles pertaining to natural resources and technology, please answer the following questions. And then once you're done, write your claim at the bottom of the worksheet and then send it to my email. So these are the questions for Article A. Like I said, how much money would we be able to save if we use certain technologies over others? And there's a graph in that article. So for the second question, you'll want to look at the graph and answer the question there. So questions for the second article, Article B, are what are some ways the world was different without technology? And why can we no longer live without technology? These are kind of questions, or this particular is a question that you can do some extra thinking on your own with. This article, or this question's more based on the article. And then we have questions for Article C, question 5 is, what are 2 ways that using technology to obtain natural resources has negatively impacted our environment? You only need to list 2 as bulleted here. You can list more if you want to, but those are the 2 that I have suggested. And then question 6, what are some examples of technology that help our environment? And the article does a really good job at listing those. So putting all that together, I have a chart for benefits and costs. You can write on it as you please. So question 7 is, fill in the chart with a list of benefits of using technology to obtain natural resources and a list of costs to obtain natural resources using technology. And you can go either way with this. You can do how we did it in the past, how we're doing it now, effects that it could lead to in the future. Whatever you need to do, just make sure that you are using the information given in the 3 articles. And I highly suggest using this presentation as well as the videos that I embedded within the presentation, just because they can give some reliable insight on how those machines are used and what we can do with that. So finally, our last question is the claim. So you would just write your claim about whether or not using technology to obtain natural resources is good for the environment. This is just a blank page. I'm not entirely sure why I did that. Okay, so after you are done with the worksheet, please email the worksheet directly to me. And I just want to reiterate that if you're having any problems using the videos, articles, or the worksheet, please email me right away and I'll help you when I can. And if technology is an issue and that ends up making your assignment be turned in late, I can be flexible with the due date if you communicate with me first. Otherwise, I'm not going to know what's going on, and I might accidentally take something off for something that you had no control over. So please let me know if nothing works. Next time, we will be going over that worksheet, and we will be doing a mini lesson on how natural resources influence our economy. Very interesting lesson there as well. So, alright. Thank you for watching this video lesson. I pray that you stay safe, stay healthy, check yourselves, wash your hands, stay indoors if you're not feeling well, wear a mask if needed, and yeah, that is all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and please stay in tune for upcoming assignments and lessons. Thank you! Have a good day!